the solar system. Before going into the deep details of the solar system, we need to define certain terms. Among them, one is the celestial sphere. Second one is celestial sphere, universe, and third one is the astronomy. Now, as far as celestial sphere is concerned, actually we have a celestial sphere that is an abstract sphere in astronomy and navigation that has an arbitrarily large radius and is concentric to Earth. So all objects in the sky, by objects I mean to say the stars, planets, comets, asteroids, galaxies, everything whatsoever exists there in the universe can be conceived as being projected upon the inner surface of the celestial sphere, as if it were the underside of a dome. So these objects, like planets, stars, etc., are known as the celestial bodies. The celestial sphere is like this. This is Earth, and it is having the sphere. The sphere is having the north celestial pole and south celestial pole, and there is having celestial equator here. This is the equator, celestial equator. Besides that, there is the north ecliptic pole and south ecliptic pole. This is the south ecliptic pole, south ecliptic pole, and this is the north ecliptic pole. So we say this is a dome-shaped structure. If you go outside and you will see towards the sky, you will find this dome-like structure above, and in this structure everything is like stars, planets. They are embedded in it like this. So these heavenly bodies, like stars, planets, as they are inside it, and they are known as the celestial bodies because they are within the sphere, within the celestial sphere. That's why they are known as the celestial objects or celestial bodies, or more commonly we call them as the heavenly bodies also. After that, we have a term universe. In order to define the universe, we may define it as simply the celestial sphere and the all of space and time and their contents. The contents, I mean to say, that includes the stars, galaxies, and other forms of the matter and energy is known as universe. So whole, whatsoever there is, that's the universe. So universe is a vast, unimaginable, and the study of this vast and unimaginable universe is called the astronomy. We have a separate subject to study this uh, whole universe, and that separate subject is known as astronomy. Or simply, we define astronomy is the study of the universe, that is sun, stars, galaxies, planets, and other non-earthly bodies and other phenomena. So uh, we know what celestial sphere is and what it's composed of, and the definition of the universe, and the astronomy, the definition of the astronomy. Now, in this vast universe, we have a galaxy, and that's known as the Milky Way. In this Milky Way, we have a gravitationally bound system, a star named the Sun, and objects that orbit it, either directly or indirectly. So we have objects which revolve around the Sun directly, and very many objects which revolve it indirectly. Among these, we have objects which revolve directly. They include the planets, major planets. They include the large planets. I'm talking about the large planets, and dwarf planets, We have the large planets and the dwarf planets. These are the objects which revolve around the sun directly. Besides that, we have the comets, we have comets, we have asteroids and meteors, etc. So these are the things, these are the objects which revolve directly around the sun, and we have the objects which revolve indirectly, and indirectly we have the moon, that's moon oblique, these are known as the satellites. So we have the large planets and the dwarf planets. Here we have eight large planets. One is the Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and Jupiter, Saturn, and star Uranus, and Neptune. These are the eight planets. These are known as the large planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. These are known as the eight planets, eight large planets. Besides that, we have five dwarf planets, and they include the Plato, Ceres, Eris, Macmac, and Hemi. Okay, these are the large planets, and we have total number of eight large planets, and in dwarf planets we have five dwarf planets, including Plato, Ceres, Eris, Macmac, and Hemi. So our solar system comprises of large planets, dwarf planets, comets, asteroids, and meteors. After that, we know that this is a gravitationally bound system. That is, these all planets, dwarf, large planets, they are gravitationally bound to the sun. Sun is a very, very massive object, which is at the center of the solar system. Now we will discuss this gravitationally bound system, which is known as the solar system. So it has a stars and other celestial bodies that revolve around the sun, including these dwarf, large, comets, asteroids, and meteors. Now, before going to the deep details, we have to define what star is. We have to go through the definition of a star and the definition of the planet. As far as the definition of the star is concerned, star, we say star is an astronomical object consisting of a luminous spheroid of plasma held together by its own gravity. Gravity is must. And second thing, that is the source of energy should be its own. For example, sun is a star and there is a process taking place in it, that is the fusion. If this fusion is not inside the sun and it acquires its energy from any other source, then we may not call it as a star. Star should have its own source of energy. So we define a star. A star is an astronomical object consisting of a luminous spheroid of plasma held together by its own gravity, and the light emitted by a star is from its own internal sources. So this was the definition of a star. Now, after star, we have to define a planet. For planet, there is an international union that's called as an International Astronomical Union. International Astronomical Union, that is IAU, which defines planet as, number one, there are certain characteristics, or we may say criteria, which define a planet as per the IAU. Number one is that it should orbit the sun. Orbits the sun. Number second, has sufficient mass to be round or nearly round. Has sufficient mass to be round or nearly round. Number third is not a satellite of another object. Is not satellite of another object. Number fourth is has removed the debris. Has removed the debris and small objects from the area around its orbit. Has removed the debris and small objects from its orbit. So, as per the International Astronomical Union, we define a planet as an orbits and as a planet as which orbits the sun, has sufficient mass to be round or nearly round, is not some satellite of another object. So it should not be the satellite. For example, we have the moon. We know that the moon is a satellite of Earth. So we can't say that the moon is a planet. We say that is a satellite because that revolves around the Earth, not directly the sun. That revolves the sun indirectly. First, that revolves around the Earth, then as a both Earth and sun revolve around the sun. So that is indirect. The indirectly orbits the sun here, and it should not be a satellite. Earth is not a satellite, but moon is the satellite of Earth. We can't say moon is the planet. So, and one more important criteria is that has removed the debris and small objects from its orbit. Well, its orbit should be clean. There should not be any debris. There should not be any small object in its orbit, moving or revolving or orbits along with the planet to the sun. It should be clean. It should be free from this debris and the small objects. Here we have, as I have already mentioned, the dwarf planets. As far as the dwarf planets are concerned, as I have already mentioned, the name of those planets, including the Plato, Makmak, and Hemu, and Ceres. Yes, these are the 5 planets. These all 5 planets, they satisfy the condition number first, they satisfy the condition number second, they satisfy the condition number third, but they does not satisfy the condition number 4. That's they have not cleared the debris and small objects from their orbits. And it is because of this that Plato has been put into the dwarf group of planets. So planet should be, it should orbit the sun, has sufficient mass to be round or nearly round, it is not satellite of another object, has removed the debris and small objects from its orbit. So this was all about how to define a star and how to define a planet. Now, as per this definition, we classify planets into 2 groups, as I have already told you. The main largest 8 planets, that's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus and Neptune. And the second group is, that's the dwarf planets, that's Plato, Ceres, Eris, Makmak, Hemu. These are the 5 these planets. Besides these 2 types of the planets, in solar system we have the asteroids. These are the small pieces of rock or metal which revolve around the sun. And also we have the comets. And we have the asteroids. These asteroids are the pieces of rock. Pieces of rock which orbit the sun, which orbit the sun. These are the pieces of rock which orbit the sun, and there is a special, huge number of these asteroids in our solar system. That particularly in a particular space or a region in the solar system, that is the region between Mars and Jupiter. Mars and Jupiter. These asteroids are particularly found in between the region between the Mars and the Jupiter, and this very region is known as the asteroid belt. Asteroid belt. Here I would like to mention that one of the dwarf planets, that is the Ceres, Ceres, Ceres. This dwarf planet is found in this asteroid belt. That is, it is an asteroid, but it has satisfied the three conditions to be called as a planet. Number one is the orbits the sun, has sufficient mass, is not a satellite, but it's not satisfying one condition, that it has not removed the debris and small objects from the area around its orbit. So this is classified as a dwarf planet and is found in this asteroid belt. Okay, now there are the comets. Now after that we have one more object in our solar system. There is the comet. Comets are star-like objects. Comets, these are bright star-like objects with a long tail approaching the sun in a highly elliptical orbit. That is, if this is the sun, and if we suppose this is a comet, it has a long elliptical